Well, it's that time again to prep for Sturgis. And I thought I'd do another video for you guys who have never been there and might get the wrong impression of what it really is. Especially you older guys who have never been there. Stick around. I'll tell you why you should go. Welcome back to the channel, folks. If you're new here, welcome. Glad to have you. You know, Sturgis comes around every year, and I start prepping in July, late June. I'm getting my stuff together, and this year I'm trailing up just to Castle Rock, Colorado. My friend Dave and I are going to have a little jumping off point from his man cave. I might show you a picture of that. All his motorcycles. We used to ride up together every year, and it's only about 6.5 hours from where he is, so it's a nice ride if it's not snowing. So I thought I would tell you that I know a lot of you have seen videos and parties and one percenters. I just want to tell you, if you haven't been there, don't be afraid to go. Sturgis is for everyone. You don't have to go to the chip unless that's your thing. Some of these campgrounds have these wild parties. Some of us did that when we were younger, but some of us have matured a little bit, and we just want to go for the spiritual experience. The roads out there are just phenomenal. The scenery is phenomenal. It's one of those places that gives you spiritual enlightenment, and you're going to think that's crazy. But if you haven't been there to experience it, it probably won't mean anything. Route 16 is one of my favorite roads because it's pretty long and hits a few things. You have Custer State Park, and you have Needles Highway. Now, a word of warning, unless you're an experienced rider, don't do certain parts of Needles Highway. Don't go through the eye of the needle and come down from either way. It can be treacherous, but there are certain parts of Needles Highway that are just great. But if you're an experienced rider, you should do it all. And I'll show you some clips. Wildlife is great, and if you're careful not to piss off the bison, you'll have a great time. There's a few people every year whose wives or just some dumbass guys go to try to pet the bison, the buffalo, and yeah, it doesn't turn out well. As long as when you see them, you stop when you turn off your bike, and don't make any fast moves. Don't sit there and start your bike and rev the engine. They're going to think you're another animal, and they might come get you. But I have never had any trouble going through, and I've been through some herds of bison out there. And if you're careful and you don't make any sudden moves, there's no problem with it. There are some other roads, Iron Mountain, actually 385 going from, let's see, Crazy Horse, going all the way up to Deadwood. It's just a great ride. I think it's one of my favorite rides. Deadwood is just another place that's a must go. And there's also downtown Sturgis Main Street. These are places that you really should see, and just don't worry about trouble. When you're there during the daytime, it's really kind of a family event. I've seen entire families on motorcycles, and you also get to see all the bike manufacturers. You get to see the stuff. I'll probably ride a couple of bikes this year. There's a couple of Harleys I'd like to test ride. I might even test ride an Indian. Don't tell anyone. I just want to see what a couple of new Indians are like. I also like to see the other manufacturers, the mufflers. J&P Cycles is there. But it's an experience you shouldn't miss. Should not be afraid to go. I know a lot of you older riders don't want to get caught up in, well, younger riders who are not so careful. running around. You know, there's not as many sport bike riders in Sturgis as there is in Daytona. Now, Daytona is the party capital of the world when it comes to motorcycles. Sturgis is not unless you're at one of the campgrounds. I would say that whatever you want to find in Sturgis, you can find it. And my friend Dave and I we don't party anymore, so we really go for the riding. And this year I think we're going to go to Devil's Tower. It's not that far away. There's a couple of roads that I haven't ridden yet. And this will probably be my last year for a while. This is my 12th year going, and I think I'm going to, next year, maybe do North Carolina, maybe Tail the Dragon, Back of the Dragon, maybe do some more East Coast stuff. There's just a couple things I haven't seen up in Sturgis. And you know what? You don't have to go to the Black Hills during Sturgis. You can go any time of year. One of my favorite times is Labor Day weekend, because the weather starts to get a little freaky. It can. But it's a couple of weeks after Sturgis, there's no one up there. It's just they start to roll up the sidewalks and get ready for winter. But it's possibly one of the best times to go. You have the roads to yourself up there. But I just want to tell everyone, don't be afraid to go, and it's a must-see. It is the Mecca of riding. If you haven't been there in your life, put it on your bucket list. This is something you really need to see.